out of it, so start with the first two. Don't jump to the orange yet. Okay, so all right, here's the reality. When you start doing this in the morning, you're going to be very tired, right? You're going to take a bus from the hotel, or mom and dad, or someone's going to drop you off, and it's going to be very early. That's the reality. Your brain's not even going to be on when you start to warm up. But that's the key, is to get your blood flowing and get your body moving before you ever have to start thinking, right? So the first thing I see, which is probably the most common, is the guys come in and they're still wearing their shorts. They haven't even changed in their full kits yet, right? And they throw out a foam roller, right? And that's why you have one. So what they do right away is they just started getting a little movement to the legs. So that's what we're going to start with right away. Now I know you guys have rolled a little bit already, which is a great way to start your day, but I'm just reinforcing this, okay? So we're going to do about 5 to 7 minutes of easy foam rolling, and then we'll break straight into the bands, okay? So let's rock and roll. Now, all I want to do is see you rolling. I don't care where it is, you know where you need to roll, right? But start with the easy ones. Maybe start with a little bit of quad. Maybe start with a calf. Start with what you know, but make sure you work through both sides and then both legs. Okay, give it a couple good passes, right? Remember, in the morning when you're going to be doing this, this is still probably 90 minutes to an hour and 45 before your tea time. I'm going to switch. A lot of guys still have their headphones on. A lot of guys still even aren't awake. Because remember, if you're that 7 a.m. tea time, you're taking that 5:30 bus over, or the 5 o'clock if you're even lucky if they have it. You probably, at this point, don't even want to be eating breakfast. You're still, you know, and you're still tired. Great, you got through both sides. Flip it. Let's get right into the glutes. Start getting into the hammies. When was a good time to foam roll? Anytime, right? Remember what I said? Remember, if you feel like your legs feel fatigued after a round, let's say you have to walk 27, maybe it's really wet out, and that feels like your legs are going to be a lot more active, your feet are going to be a lot more active. That's a great time to bring the foam roller back. Do a little bit before you go to sleep. Switch. Make sure you're getting into both sides. Make sure you take the wallet out and go through the effort. Get through the calves a little bit. Remember, the goal is to just get over that tissue and get a little bit of blood flow, okay? You don't have to beat it up too much. If it feels really tight, don't spend too much time on it to make it feel bruised or too tender, but definitely feel like you're stretching it a little bit and getting a little bit of blood flow. Make sure you're getting through the T-spine. I always like to bend over. Make sure you're flexing over the roller a little bit. Don't stress it, because in the morning your tissue is going to be real tight. You've just been sleeping all night. Get those arms out nice and wide. Stretch that chest out. there's a good chance that night before and that morning the first thing you did was jump on your phone, right? You had to check the scores. You had to check out and see how things were going. So make sure you're stretching that chest all the way out. Okay, beautiful, right? Now the brain's slowly getting up. You're starting to slowly get a little bit active, right? So now we jump right into some mini band stuff and a little bit of resistance training. So the big thing here is you have to create a space that allows you to do it. In a locker room, it might be limited. In a hotel room, the biggest limitation is if I start doing this in a hotel room, how long is it going to take me after I warm up to get to the driving range, right? If it's Sofitel and I'm just walking across the street, something easy, fine, knock it out. Do it where you can do it, right? But if there's a 30-minute, 40-minute, hour-plus drive from the hotel to the golf course, it doesn't make a lot of sense to do your warm-up, then jump back into a car. Does that make sense? So you gotta find a spot in the locker room, you gotta find a quiet spot. That's why a lot of guys wearing the headphones, and you just jump back into your own thing, right? This is what you are doing that's gonna set you apart from all your other teammates, from all the other guys you're playing against. Because you being more prepared means the potential for you to be better, right? Which is what we all want, okay? So let's jump up straight away. What we're gonna do is, you're gonna grab one of the two bands here. Ideally, start with the blue. Now these are brand new bands, so stretch it out a little bit. Just like your legs and your tendons, you gotta make sure this stuff warms up a little bit so you don't snap it. Okay, straight away what we're gonna do is, you're gonna start, loop them right around. Okay, once we've looped, we have a resistance band, right? Everyone good on that? Now remember, if this doesn't feel like enough resistance, you go to the orange. Let's start with an easy one to begin with. Okay? So now we have our equipment, we have our space. We get to rock and roll, right? First one's very easy. All we're doing is simply what? Starting in golf posture, taking it all the way out, opening our chest, right? Just open the chest. And we get a little bit into golf posture, we open the chest. From this point, now we're engaging our outside chain here with the mini bands. We're just doing some simple rotation. We're not trying to get John Daly with our legs. All we're trying to do here is just rotate. Get a little bit of back, get a little bit of glute going here, something easy. Okay, once we feel like we're a little bit more active, now we're going to do a little bit of lower engagement too. So all I'm going to do is simply just step out, engage, and rotate. Now I'm always leading back in to the lead leg. So if I drive my left leg, I turn into my left, right? And just move a little bit in your own space. Maintain big, good angles. Try to pull a little bit with your upper body away from your lower body. Create a little bit of that long torque. Beautiful. So we do this for 30 seconds to a minute. Something easy. Great. Now we're going to do what they call monsters. The idea behind a monster walk is, you guys have all seen the mummy movies, right? The old mummy movies, not the new ones. Where the guy kind of looks crazy walking around with those wide feet, wide stance. We're going to do the same thing, okay? So the goal here is maintain the width in your feet. You're going to come up, you're going to come back. So all we're going to do in the beginning is just 3 steps up, 3 steps back. Okay? No rotation yet, just something simple. up and back. Good, good. Now what this is forcing you to do right now is your bum and your legs right now have to be activated. You heard Coach Mark talk about long activation of different muscle groups when you're sitting in a good swing pose, right? This is exactly that. Now, second set through, you're going to integrate the same thing with a little bit of twist. So I lead with my right, I turn with my left. Lead with my left, turn with my right. Turn into your lead pose. Good. Good. Now do it backwards, right? Engage as much as you can. So I go back, I turn in. I go back, I turn in. I go back, I turn in. Beautiful. Nice and slow, big, long motions. Easy stuff. Remember, there's two different ways. If you turn away from it, yeah, you're going to get something out of it. If I turn into it, I'm certainly going to feel a little bit more stretch. Okay? Good. Good. Okay, beautiful. Now, as you do this more, as you get stronger, this becomes maybe a little bit of a longer process. Okay? Now, certainly you can spend more time with the band, with the engagement, but for now, we're not trying to make you feel tired, right? All we're really trying to do is make you feel like you're engaging the muscles enough. So 3 minutes, something like this, something easy, we lose the band. Okay, once we lose the band, we jump right back into something a little bit more dynamic. Again, arms nice and high. All we're going to do to start is something simple. Front leg lunge. You lead with the right leg, you just simply turn into the right leg. Right? Arms are nice and high. I land nice and soft. All I do is I rotate, I hold. And then I back out. Lead into that right leg. Front leg right, lead into that right leg. Feel that big stretch from that opposite left side. Good. Let's do 5 of these. Ready? 1. Back. 2. Back. Big turn. 3. Back. Beautiful. 4. Back. And 5. Back. Beautiful. And switch. Left leg. 1. Back. Big stretch. 2. Back. Beautiful. 3. Back. 4. Back. And last one. 5. Back. Easy. Okay. Next one. Lateral lunge. So I'm going to come all the way out. I'm going to let all my body weight follow me. I'm going to lead the leg back, right? This side I'm going to feel the stretch. This side I'm going to feel the engagement. So I'm going to laterally lunge into my left side, and then I just turn. Okay? Let's go to the left to start. Ready? 3. We're going to just do 5 of these. 3, 2, 1, 1. Over. Good. 1. Do a little faster. 2. 3. 4. 5. Now let's say you feel like, when I do this, I feel like my groin here is tight, right? Everyone here is going to feel different tightness patterns, right? That's why foam rolling, that's why the trigger point ball are so important. Because if I feel like when I do this, it feels tight, that's a great cue for me to take that time out to roll through that tight area a little bit more, just to give me the best opportunity by the time I get to the tee. Understood? It doesn't have to be anything more than 30 seconds. But if you feel like there's something that doesn't feel right, it makes no sense not to address it before you ever get your kid out and go hit a shot. Let's go to the right now. 1. We're going right side. 2, 3, big turn, right into that internal right leg, 4, 5. Beautiful. We sweating yet? No, you guys are too young. Just me. Okay, we keep rolling. Next one's a balance stability drill, right? Because ankles, feet, these are what's creating the initial contact of that ground up force, right? So that's why it's so important for us to feel like we've engaged the toes and the ankles before we've ever done anything, right? So this one's pretty simple. All we're going to do is just hold the leg, single leg balance to begin with, hold the leg and rotate and switch. Hold the leg, rotate and switch. And we do it with a little bit of speed, and then as we start to get a little bit further into the exercise, you hold it a little bit longer. So in the beginning, all you're going to do is just get a little bit of stretch. And then you start to hold it a little bit longer. Right? Start to hold it for that 3 seconds. 2, 3, turn. 2, 3, turn. Now where's the benchmark here? You're going to see a lot of flexibility, and this is stuff you have to earn a little bit. It's going to allow you to turn pretty far into your lead leg. Right? If you feel like you're out here, if you feel like you're not able to get into it without maintaining your posture, this is obviously something we probably found on the screen, but something you're going to need to work on a little bit. Understood? So let's just do 5 of these together. Ready? 1, right leg up, hold, turn, great. Again, 2, right leg up, turn, beautiful. 3, right leg up, turn, great. 4, right leg up, turn, and 5, right leg up, turn, great. Switch legs. Left leg up, turn, great. Number 2, left leg up, turn, great. 3, left leg up, turn, great. 4, left leg up, turn, great. And 5. Left leg up, hold, get that right ankle going. Beautiful. Relax. Stretch out those arms a little bit. Now let's say having the band behind your chest is pretty tight, right? For a lot of us, that's the case. You can certainly feel like you can keep it in front, so you're pulling it back to engage your scaps too. If anything, if you feel like halfway through switching it to this position, that's completely all right also. Understood? Okay, so now we got to think about it. We've done a little bit of the dynamic stuff to warm up with the fascia, which is the foam roller, right? We've done a little bit of the resistance band stuff. All we're talking about is 5 to 10 minutes of that, right? We've got a little bit more of the integration of the resistance band, doing a little bit more of the dynamic stuff with our body, right? How long have we been doing this for? 10, 15 minutes, right? How many of you guys feel a little bit of sweat, feel a little bit of heat, right? Yeah. Easy stuff, and we're in an air-con room, right? You can expand upon any of this and make it longer based on the restrictions you have, but the bottom line is here, you've got to put at least 15 to 20 minutes in doing something to get some blood flow, okay? Now, you heard Tiger back in the day, right? You remember Tiger's funniest quote, one of Tiger's funniest quotes ever, right? Remember when asked upon his day what he said? He said, "I couldn't engage the glutes." Remember that? You ever remember Tiger saying something like this? Couldn't engage the glutes. The glutes weren't active, right? Good or bad, what Tiger's saying is, if I can come out into my swing and I feel like I can sit into my bum and I can sit into my legs and my legs are ready to roll, my bum is ready to roll, what he's saying is he can maintain his posture and his swing angle much better, which means his efficiency is a lot better, right? What that means for us is anything we're doing here, we're feeling we're trying to what? Activate the bum, activate the legs, trying to activate the lower body. Now, upstairs wise, we're not as worried. We're just worried about getting rotation and getting our length back, right? But in terms of the dynamic between the upstairs and the downstairs, downstairs needs to feel like it's ready to roll, okay? Another thing we can do here, we lose the band. We're going to do a little bit, just to finish, a little bit more active stuff. All we're going to do is some simple lateral bounds. Okay? So we're going to sit, right leg. All we're going to do is load into the left leg. So all we're doing is just switching things up, maintaining that posture, feeling like we're activating both legs, right? Good. Since you guys don't sweat, this is going to help the process a little bit. Good. Now, big things here. You're sticking your pose just like you're an Olympian, and you're holding it. Activating the ankle, the calf, the knee, making sure you maintain that good balance, right? Soft landing. Good. 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 Easy. Next one. We did a lateral, so we're going to go forward and back, right? All I want you to do is feel like you're jumping a little bit forward, sticking the landing, okay? Great. Now from that position, now that you're still in it, I just want you to go straight back. Easy stuff. Good. So we knock out, let's say 4 to 6 reps of this. Next one, we jump into something simple. We're just going to do a simple 180 twist, land back in the same position. Getting tired yet? You're sweating? That's good. Good. We're just going to do, let's just do 3 of these because we're getting a little bit on the fatigue side. Okay, how many have we done? Good. 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 Once we do 3 spinning to one direction, of course we're going to expand and eventually do 3 in both. Okay? But I really want you to think swing. When I throw this right leg, this is what you're activating come driving range time. Okay? Make sure you get both directions. Okay, now what? How many guys are sweating? The number's gone up, right? Now blood's pumping. Now we've dynamically warmed up. We've created a little bit of resistance band training. And how long have we been doing this for? 15, 20 minutes, right? Now, it's a fine line because for a lot of us, we don't do a warm-up at this point, right? But the burden comes, if we don't start doing something, this is going to feel like a workout every time. You know what I mean? Right now, we feel tired, right? So it's a fine line because that tiredness is actually going to hurt us a little bit at some point. But creating this routine that allows us to do some dynamic warm-up before we ever hit a shot is going to help us long-term because we're conditioning ourselves. Okay? Just to reiterate, we started with the most easy, low-hanging fruit, which was the foam roller. From there, we jumped in and did a little resistance band training. We did it in different angles. We were doing it to the side, we were doing it forward, we were doing it backward. A 3D plane, okay? From that point, we added the resistance band and we added the mini band and the resistance band, doing a little bit of disassociation between the low body and the upper body, okay? From that point, we lost the band, the mini band, and we just did stability work on the ankles, the knees, the calves. Some simple, long chain movements, right? If at that point you feel like there's individual parts of your body that don't have the length, they still have some of the tightness, that's when you expand, okay? Now what we're also going to do for you guys is create a library of exercises that you're going to be integrating. And some of it's going to be mobility, right? So say when I get through, I still feel like, oh, you know what? I still feel tight, right? I've done my warm-up, but I still feel a little tight. That's when you can expand upon some of these thoracic rotation and some of these other mobility drills we're going to add to your repertoire, to your library, to the website, okay? But the biggest thing here is you're getting a little sweaty, you're getting a little bit of active blood flow to the rest of your body. Your tissue feels loose, okay? Does everyone feel pretty warmed up?
No.
Now, from this point also, take into account, again, if you have individual injuries, say we have a wrist problem, say we have a low back problem, say we have a knee problem, right? That's also when you need to think about, hey, now that I'm sweating, what am I going to do during the day that's going to allow me to perform my best? So at this point, this is when you tape the wrist up. This is when you throw the stability stuff, whether it's a brace or K-tape around the knee, or just some simple quad activation to make sure the knee is warmed up. This is what you're doing for yourself also, okay? Work through your own individual injuries a little bit and kind of tailor it to you, right? Once you get that, you get the kit ready to roll, the next thing you do is you're headed down to the driving range, and now you're spending an exact amount of time trying to figure out, my body's warmed up. Now you see a lot of guys down at the range, especially still in the morning. They'll get a club out, they'll get a band out, and they'll do a lot of this stuff still at the range, right? Some simple, easy stuff. But it really just depends on you. Now that you've integrated this 20 minutes, you're that much more ahead of the game. Okay? Questions? All right, good job.
Thank you.